Welcome to today's Explainer, where we are diving into a pretty chilling realization. Those everyday items sitting right there in your pantry might actually be doing slow, unseen damage to your body. We're not talking about anything that happens overnight or some dramatic, sudden event. It's happening little by little, every single day. We are constantly surrounded by food choices, but scientists are now raising a massive red flag about what is actually hiding inside the things we eat. It's a genuinely terrifying question to ask yourself, isn't it? What if your food was slowly destroying your body? The craziest part we found while looking into this is how gradual the process really is, mostly because it's caused by foods that are so cleverly marketed to us as being healthy. But behind the clever packaging, scientists are actively linking some of the most popular foods in America and the UK to obesity, depression, diabetes, heart disease, and even early death. Prepare to be completely shocked by this one: 70%. In some households, a massive 70% of daily calories are coming from heavily engineered products. For the average diet today, it makes up more than half of everything consumed. That means millions of people are eating this stuff day in and day out without having a clue what it's actually doing inside the human body. Okay, so what exactly are ultra-processed foods anyway? This is an absolutely crucial distinction to make because a lot of folks mistakenly think it just means anything that comes wrapped in plastic. But actually, scratch that. It's way more complicated than just the packaging, and understanding this difference is going to be your first line of defense. There is a massive, massive difference between normal food processing and the ultra-processed stuff we're talking about today. I mean, freezing fresh vegetables, making cheese, or canning beans, that is all completely fine. But ultra-processed foods are essentially industrial products. They are made up of chemicals, artificial flavors, preservatives, refined oils, and so much added sugar. We're talking about ingredients you would literally never keep in your own home kitchen. Some of these products have upwards of 20 ingredients. To actually make sense of all this, scientists use something called the NOVA classification system. It rigorously groups our foods into 4 tiers, based on exactly how heavily they've been processed. And that final tier, the ultra-processed tier, is where we find the stuff we see everywhere: sugary breakfast cereals, instant noodles, energy drinks, fast food burgers, and chicken nuggets. Let's talk about how these foods are engineered for addiction. Have you ever opened a bag of chips telling yourself you'll have just a few, and the next thing you know, your hand is scraping the crumbs at the bottom of an empty bag? Well, I want you to know that is not an accident, and it's certainly not a lack of willpower on your part. Food companies literally spend billions of dollars to make sure you fall right into a psychological trap. There's a scientific term for this: hyperpalatability. These food scientists spend billions engineering the exact bliss point. It's this perfect, irresistible combination of sugar, salt, fat, and artificial flavoring that's explicitly designed to hijack the pleasure centers in your brain. Their running only goal? To make you crave more. So here is how this biological hijack plays out step by step. You eat the food, right? Boom. Your brain gets a massive hit of dopamine, which is the exact same chemical linked to pleasure and addiction. Because of that hit, your brain starts demanding stronger and stronger stimulation. Before long, completely natural foods like fresh fruits and vegetables actually start to seem incredibly boring by comparison. It's exactly why it is so impossibly hard to stop eating junk food, even when you logically know it's terrible for you. But here's the thing: the addiction loop is really just the beginning. Inside your body, a much more terrifying physical toll is unfolding. The human body was simply never designed to process these massive amounts of artificial ingredients every single day. When we break down the traits of these foods, the physical effects are pretty undeniable. Because they are totally stripped of fiber and protein, but absolutely packed with empty calories, they digest incredibly fast. Get this. A landmark NIH study actually found that people on ultra-processed diets naturally ate about 500 extra calories a day without even trying to. That fuels rapid weight gain, leading to the explosion in obesity rates we see today. And because they digest so quickly, they cause absolutely brutal blood sugar spikes, which means your body is basically strapped into a daily chemical roller coaster. Over time, those sudden blood sugar spikes and energy crashes crank up your risk for type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, and chronic fatigue. Plus, these foods are loaded with trans fats, excess sodium, and refined oils that drive up blood pressure and inflammation. That directly links them to heart disease, which remains one of the leading causes of death worldwide. Okay, now we're reaching a truly fascinating twist in all this. the mind-gut connection. For years, people just assumed junk food only messed with your physical body, but researchers are now discovering that the damage profoundly impacts your gut and, remarkably, your mind. Think about it like this. Your gut is home to trillions of bacteria that are absolutely vital for your digestion, your immune system, and your mental health. But the artificial additives and emulsifiers pumped into ultra-processed diets can actually damage this delicate balance. They actively weaken the gut lining and trigger a wave of inflammation throughout your entire body. And because your brain relies so heavily on the nutrients derived from real food, starving it with low-quality artificial calories has severe consequences. Scientists are now suggesting that diets super high in ultra-processed foods are directly linked to the rising rates of anxiety, depression, mood swings, and brain fog we're seeing today. These foods reduce feelings of fullness while ramping up cravings, trapping people in this vicious cycle where they eat more and just end up feeling worse. So, the big question is, why do we keep buying them? Well, it really comes down to the deception. We have to remember that food companies are prioritizing addictive products that sell. They're chasing maximum profits, absolutely not prioritizing your personal health. It's wild when you compare the marketing we see every day to the actual reality. We get tricked by bright packaging, fitness labels, cute cartoon mascots, and super emotional advertising. Products that we are explicitly told are healthy, things like protein bars, granola, flavored yogurts, and diet snacks, are so often hiding the absolute worst ingredients. In reality, they're just packed with huge amounts of added sugar and artificial components. Honestly, learning how to read labels is your absolute best defense against this kind of deception. And I love this rule of thumb. If the ingredient list sounds like a high school chemistry experiment, your body probably doesn't need it. Do yourself a favor and just put it right back on the shelf. All right, so how do we escape the chemical kitchen? The really good news I want you to take away from this explainer is that you do not need to have a perfect diet. You don't have to go home today, empty out your entire pantry, and throw everything in the trash. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is simply building awareness. Instead, just focus on making small, sustainable changes that have a huge overall impact. Try to prioritize cooking a few more meals at home and eating whole foods that are much closer to their natural form. We're talking about things like fresh fruits and veggies, eggs, oats, beans, rice, fresh meat, fish, and nuts. And of course, drink plenty of water. Ultra-processed foods have quietly become just a normal part of daily life for millions of us, but the scientific warning signs have literally never been clearer. So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with one crucial question to ask yourself the next time you reach for a quick snack. Is this really food, or is it just a product designed to keep you addicted? Let me know down in the comments which everyday food shocked you the most today. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll catch you next time.